Hi, welcome to Senior Moments Successful Aging. I'm your host, Mary Beals-Luedtka. I'm the director for the Area Agency on Aging at NACOG. You can reach me or my staff at our toll-free number at 877-521-3500. Senior Moments Successful Aging is co-sponsored with the Division of Lifelong Learning at Yavapai College. Our producer is Danny Tomerlin, and we also have Curtis Kegley with the Area Agency on Aging, and they work together behind the scenes to make sure these shows go forward, and we talk about subjects that you are really interested in. So give Danny a call at 717-7607 if you have questions about the show or ideas about shows you'd like to see in the future. We'd love to hear from you. So today I'd like to welcome our guest, Eileen Gnabasik. I didn't say that right, did I?
No, you did not, but that's okay.
Could you say it for me?
Gnabasik.
Gnabasik.
The G is silent. It's Polish.
And I knew that. I'm sorry, Eileen.
It's okay.
Welcome.
Well, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You know, and Eileen and I work together collaboratively in helping senior citizens
Stay in their home
Yeah.
as long as possible,
Yeah.
remain independent as long as possible.
And you're the executive director for ResCare Home Care.
I am the executive director for the Northern Arizona region of ResCare
Okay.
Home Care. So we have 7 offices in Arizona. One of them is our regional office, but 7 working offices to help support the seniors in Maricopa, Pima, Apache, Navajo, Yavapai counties, Coconino counties.
Statewide.
Statewide. We are statewide. And then we are also in 43 states, Mary, providing services, whether it's to a workforce community, the cognitively impaired, disabled, but also to the senior community. So 43 states and 50,000 employees. We are
Wow.
a large company.
I had no idea it was
providing
that
services.
large. That's amazing. Well, I know that you're a huge partner for us, for our seniors, and providing home care. And so it's ResCare Home Care. What are some of the services that you provide for the community, not just for Area Agency on Aging?
Okay. ResCare Home Care, first of all, stands for Respect and Care in your home. It's a compound word that the company came up with in the early 70s, and it exemplifies our mission statement. But some of the services that we provide, so we provide respite. So when you and I work collaboratively, the main caregiver may need a break. We would go in, give that main caregiver a break so they can go shopping, maybe take a class from the Area Agency on Aging on Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, whatever the topic is that they need guidance on. We also provide attending care, personal care for our seniors, which we'll discuss, I think, a little bit later. Hopefully, as we age, our balance becomes maybe a little bit unsteady. So we need some assistance, so we can do that standby assistance. We then can do light meal prep, housekeeping tasks, anything to help that senior stay in their home for as long as possible and remain independent as long as possible. That's our goal.
It aligns with our goal. At the Area Agency on Aging is really to preserve that autonomy, that independence, as long as it's safe. And sometimes it's not safe, but it sounds like then those services that you bring in can help that be a safe situation.
Absolutely. And I think even though ResCare Home Care is part of the non-medical continuum of care, I truly believe that that non-medical component is crucial and a huge addition to the other components that our seniors or anybody would need. So that those little touches we just talked about, a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of meal prep, that non-medical, maybe a med minder. Did you take your meds at 12 noon today? Those things, again, keep that consumer and that person served in their home and as independent as long as possible. Then, in a lot of cases, Mary, the family is not in state.
Yeah.
So we are another set of eyes for the family member. Then the Area Agency on Aging's case managers are another set of eyes. So here's this person with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 pairs of eyes on them. And that makes the siblings of this adult parent very comfortable. My mom and dad, they don't have to leave their home. They've been in that community for 20, 30 years. They're still very safe there, and I'm feeling good.
You know, and I think it's important to point out that, you know, those non-medical, you know, people talk about, you know, in the news, we talk about healthcare costs, and, you know, that's a big subject. You know, every time we get into politics, medical costs come up. And really getting that medical community also to understand, and family members to understand, everything doesn't have to be medical. There's a very high cost to bringing a nurse into a home.
Very.
Very, very high cost, and it's different, and they may not need it. And I used to be a visiting nurse, so sometimes you need that. But sometimes you just need someone to come in and change the sheets on your bed and stand by while you take a shower. You don't need a licensed nurse to do that. And that's a really cost savings for anybody who's listening. As a private pay person, you think, oh, I need a home health aide, or I need a nurse. But really, I think they need to call an organization like yours first to see if they can do a lower level.
Agreed. And in fact, I was talking to a doctor, a local physician, and he said to me, Eileen, why don't you give me a monthly report of all the consumers that I have with you? So then I can, instead of doing a yearly physical or they call me in an emergency, I can stay on top of their medical condition.
I love that.
Now, we're not medical,
No.
But any change of condition, we can report to the doctor or say things are going well with the consumer, no concerns on your part. And you talked about the cost of health care.
Oh my gosh.
And this is a way to, if not lower it, let's keep it in check and balance. Let's check and balance it, okay? And that's, again, I think ResCare Home Care can provide that service. It's a non-medical, but we can certainly be a big player in that continuum of care.
And even though it's not medical, your caregivers are trained.
Absolutely, good point, thank you. We train our caregivers 40 hours a week for 40 hours. So they go through the direct care worker program. So they're going to pick up modules on the aging cycle, division of developmental disabilities, cognitive issues. There's a module on Alzheimer's now because of the prevalence. Dementia is kind of combined with that. They go through CPR first aid. They have to take their TB test. And then we do a criminal history background check. They have to, pass that, get their level 1 fingerprint card, as you know, and then most of the time, 90% of the time, our caregivers are prepared to walk into a home, see the situation, and be able to work with it and handle it. And then if they have any questions, we have a 24-hour on-call system. They can call.
Excellent.
They can get support from the supervisors. So we're very pleased with that.
Yeah, and and I know that the direct care workforce is consistent across the state of Arizona, that training.
Yes.
So that we can be assured that, those folks are trained and they understand the situations that they're going into, But beyond that, I mean, there's just so many things I think that you do to help the community as a whole.
The other thing that we do, and we're also very proud of this, and ResCare has taken a stance as far as its home care division, we're a referral base. So whether a consumer calls us and says, I really don't want services from you right now, but I'm just checking out what's available, we have that information at hand. So not only do we have your numbers, we have the local adult community center numbers, which are great resources. We have Meals on Wheels numbers. We have maybe some physicians that we work very closely with. We have their numbers. So this referral base, I think, gives the consumer or the son and daughter of the potential consumer, ResCare, we're involved at many levels to support that consumer or potential consumer. So that's another way we do it. The other thing that we do, and again, the Area Agency on Aging, we're just good partners, very collaborative. We are trained in fall preventions.
Yes.
So we have our own little, if I may, this is our little toolkit here, fall prevention toolkit. And then the Area Agency on Aging, and I was trained on this program, offers this incredible Matter of Balance program. It's an 8-week course, and we not only address the fear of falling, which happens as we age, because we tend to fall more the older we get, but it also then gives you exercises, simple exercises like just sitting in a chair. You can do a simple exercise to strengthen your calves, to strengthen the front of your calf muscles. It's an incredible program.
Move, move, move. We got to move. Whatever we can move. Sometimes we can't move everything, but the parts we can move, we ought to be moving them.
And you're right, we have to move.
We have to move.
So this is this program that you have put together is an evidence-based program.
Right.
It's proven to be very successful. Well, one of the things that makes it successful, and one of the things that states like Oregon, which also have similar programs, is that it's more than just a movement program. It's good nutrition. Are you eating well?
Yeah.
Are you eating correctly? I mean, a Hostess Twinkie versus a sweet potato, well, you know.
Yeah.
Are you moving? Are you also socially interacting? Have you become isolated?
That's so critical. I think folks forget that.
I agree with you, because we have seen an increasing number of our older adults with mild forms of depression. Again, we're non-medical, but you can tell when someone's not engaging with you. There isn't the eye contact. There isn't the excitement about life. There isn't, everything is overwhelming.
Yeah.
So these programs, our programs, help bring that person, again, out into the community, make sure that they're contributing and happy. So they, again, we repeat this 3 or 4 times, they stay as independent as long as possible.
And it's all about healthy aging, healthy living, you know, senior moments, successful aging. But I really think it's successful living, because what we speak of is good for every age, you know. But I think it becomes exacerbated as you know, we get older, because that isolation piece becomes more of a factor. And so it's great that ResCare has some things in place to bring people together as well.
And you know, as we age too, and you just hit on this a little bit, our bodies are changing.
Oh yeah.
So we have to acclimate to that. So how do we do that? So maybe we take some Tai Chi classes. Maybe we take the Matter of Balance. Maybe we tweak our nutritional intake a little bit better. Maybe we get our vision checked more regularly instead of going through, well, I did my 20s and 30s without having my vision checked. Maybe I do that so I don't fall.
You know, I think hearing is also an issue too, you know, and just thinking that, you know, people don't realize that their hearing is diminishing, and sometimes that can also affect your balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, again, going back to the hearing, you know, or the vision, if you fall, the average cost of a fall these days is $35,000.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And Medicare, Medicaid only pays like 71%. 78% of Medicare only pays 78% of all the falls. So what does that leave you with? That's about $27,000. So, you know, falls can be expensive, very expensive. So again, you want to take care of yourself. You want to do a house check when it comes to walking through your bathroom. Do you have a nightlight on? Are there any rugs, excuse me,
Those
rugs.
scatter rugs,
The scatter rugs. You want to check your kitchen. Is there anything there that maybe you can't reach that you use frequently? So you bring that back down to a lower level.
Stay off the ladder.
Stay off the step stool and the ladder. That's right. In your living room, do you have extension cords and you know, all over the place?
Yeah.
You know, look at your power strips. How many cords do you have plugged into your power strip? These are the things that you want to do when you, well, you should do on a daily basis, as you said. But even pay more attention as maybe our balance becomes a little bit
So,
unsteady.
you know, it sounds like it's a really holistic approach that you have when you work with a client, you know, because it could go all the way to possibly them needing a monitoring system. because sometimes you need that a little bit of outside help if you would happen to fall or need emergency assistance. And sometimes you don't need emergency assistance; you just need assistance.
Good point. Very good point. And I think this telecommunications, that's a wave of the future.
It is.
To keep people in their homes. Again, the cost of medical care, the just going into an assisted living, can range from $4,000 to $7,000 to $8,000. Why can't we keep people at home? Why can't not only a life alert system, which I think the Area Agency on Aging has, we have a Rest Assured system, but even we have gone as far as maybe some strategically placed cameras, maybe in the living room, to see if a person does fall. There's that 24-hour monitoring that can take place. So it's an interesting development for the future to keep people in their homes.
It's amazing how far technology has come. So we have critical signal technology, CST. Okay. And you can go all the way to monitoring if somebody turned their coffee pot off.
Really?
Yes, I've seen the technology. When I go to national conferences, we don't have that here right now, but they're making it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's just like when they first came out with computers, no one could afford one.
Right.
Now, I don't know anyone who doesn't have one. So it's going to be the same way, I believe, with the monitoring. You can have your loved one wear a vest. It monitors all kinds of things, your blood pressure. It's amazing. So
how exciting.
So you and I are going to have to learn that new technology as we move forward so we can serve our clients to the best of our ability. But there's nothing that can replace that human element.
You are absolutely correct. I can't tell you the number of times I've heard a client say to me, we're just so happy that I have this caregiver come in. And there's that human connection and that socialization. Maybe it's only for an hour once a week, maybe, 2 hours a week, but it's that human connection.
Yes.
And it makes all the difference in the world. You're absolutely right. Isolation, as we talked about, is a big component for our older adults, and we want to make sure that they're out there enjoying their hobbies as they continue to age, whatever that may be. On a personal note, I continue to hike, even though I'm going to be 63 in June. Get out there. I have 2 dogs, so there's that engagement there, and but staying active, watching, the nutrition component, checking your house for that prevention toolkit checklist to make sure that you're safe in your own home, and starting out with services that maybe it's just once a week or maybe it's twice a month, but you get to stay in your home.
Just a little bit extra help. So what's the number someone would call if they wanted to inquire about your services?
Well, we have here in the Prescott office, we have 928-717-9981. They can call. Again, they can certainly get helpful information. They can inquire about our services. We will go out. We'll do a free assessment, maybe engage the family or we call them person served. What are you looking for? What is it that you want? Do you want us to just come in maybe once a week, 2 times a week, and just do some cooking for you? Put them in the plastic containers, mark them, put them in your refrigerator? We can do that. Do you want us to make sure that your house is up to your standards as far as housekeeping? We can do that. So that assessment is important to us. We also work with hospice organizations, so we give bed baths, so that assessment is a key component to determining the kind of services that we would offer.
And I would imagine you get calls from family members, members of the public, plus the person who maybe needs the care.
It's a wide range, and I think the more that people know of these services in this continuum of care, that a person doesn't have to go right into an assisted living facility, right. Mary. I think that's crucial.
I do too.
That people understand you don't have to make this great leap because you fell once in your own home. You're not destined for an assisted living facility. We can get you recovered. We can pick you up from the hospital, pick up your meds, do a wellness check, and maybe then you're off and running. Or if you want a little bit more extra help, You can contact the Area Agency on Aging. We can get you on a weekly, monthly schedule, and we can supply the needs there until maybe you say, I'm done. I'm sure you've had that. Clients say, Mary, thank you so much, but I don't need your help anymore.
It's a great thing. I'd say probably a third to a half of our clients get better and move on. They do.
And isn't that incredible?
And it's a wonderful thing. And some of them then go on to the state system, and some of them do pass. You know, I remember taking care of a guy down in Skull Valley and working with him. And he was so happy because he wanted to pass it home. By God, he did. That's what he wanted. He never had to go to sit. Boy, he was an old cowboy. I am not going anywhere, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's just a joy to be able to help bring that to reality for somebody, and also to see them get better and move on. Sometimes they just have surgery. And I think what I'd like to get across today too, to folks listening, is that it's important that family members know that these services are there.
Absolutely. Because
sometimes in their minds, well, mom's got to go to the nursing home. And mom's like, whoa!
Absolutely.
Stop!
I think the families need to engage in those conversations.
Yes.
Instead of reacting or making a decision in a crisis situation, they need to say, okay, Mom, really, do you want to scale down?
Yeah.
Still in your own apartment, you're still as independent as possible, instead of making just what we talked about, that grand leap into an assisted living facility.
Well,
or
also during
nursing.
crisis, like you just said. You don't want to make a decision during crisis if you can. So look at your options counseling, those kinds of things, you know, and that's one thing. They can call the Area Agency on Aging, talk to INR, and say, what are my options for long-term care and services? Long-term care is now referred to as long-term supports and services.
Okay, very
so
good.
LTSS is the big acronym now. And so in that continuum of care, it's really important that folks understand what folks like you do, your organization, which is quite large, and years of experience of doing that non-medical piece at home that can make all the difference in the world.
We are lucky in Prescott because we have other resources and senior connections. They constantly have speakers, a speaker on a hearing aid. What does it mean to purchase a hearing aid?
Yeah.
What do I have to look for? Getting your wills, your trust, your POAs in line. What does that mean? So we have all these resources here in Prescott. We're very, very lucky for any consumer that says, you know what, I need to find out more information about this. Where do I go? Not only to places like ResCare, Home Care, Area Agency on Aging, but then, you know, Senior Connections. Again, wealth of information.
It's a great, and it's also, you know, I think I really encourage folks to go to things like that because it's also then a little bit of a social event because people come together and you maybe meet someone else that's in a similar situation. One thing we're trying to do is increase our support groups in the area for like family caregivers, that kind of thing, so people can come together and share. And it serves several purposes.
And even our hospital is very involved, as both the East Campus and the West Campus, involved in making sure that our consumers are educated as far as some decision making. So again, you don't have to make a decision in a crisis because that usually doesn't end up being the right decision in the long term.
Because you're emotional.
Very.
Anytime you make a decision when you're too emotional, my mother would be like, okay, sleep on it.
Oh, there you go. Right. I forgot. My mother said the same thing. Yeah, let's sleep on it and find out where we are tomorrow.
We're about the same age, so our mothers probably came from the same ilk.
And giving us the same axioms for a good, healthy living.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, a good, healthy living is what it's all about. And part of that is planning ahead, knowing what the resources are out there so that you can make an informed decision when the time comes, or have things ready.
Absolutely in place. And again, is it a little bit of challenge? We've discovered that a lot of the siblings have moved out of state, and a lot of this is taking place via email, phone, whatever, but it's taking place long distance. So you don't want to make those decisions when you're in a crisis because, again, the best decision may not always be made. And there are those non-medical assistance that can help you get over the hump, and then you can make it maybe a different decision.
So it's just such a wide variety of services that you have available.
Everything, as I said, from this incredible program called Respite, which really gives the family members, and about 90% of caregivers work with their family members, so it gives them a break, it gives them a rest. Whether they go see a movie, go out to dinner and a date, whatever it is, they get a break. Because if the main caregiver, if they don't take care of themselves, then another decision has to be made about that person served or that client, because the caregivers burn themselves out.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because before we close, I want to point that out, that, if you are a caregiver and you think, I can do it myself, I can do it myself, I can do it myself. The statistics are staggering, the amount of caregivers that die before their loved one.
Yes.
Because they burn themselves out because they think they can do it all. It would behoove you to call ResCare and get a break for yourself, even if you want to go in the other room and take a nap.
Absolutely.
We don't care.
You don't even have to leave the home.
No. If you're freaking out, don't want to leave, go in the other room, take a nap. Bring in somebody to give you a hand, even if it's just a little bit. Call ResCare, and your number again?
928-717-9981.
Right.
And again, we have, I have a Flagstaff office and then a Cottonwood office. So, and then there's 4 other offices throughout the state of Arizona. So we've got a great ability to support you in any way.
And of course, you've got one here in Prescott.
We do.
Right.
We call it the Prescott office, but it's actually located in Prescott Valley.
In Prescott Valley. Well, me too. So I'm in Prescott
Everyone's
Valley too. Everyone's in Prescott Valley.
Right.
So Eileen, thank you so much for being here today.
Mary, this has been absolutely delightful. Thank you. It's a passion I have, and I want to share this information with a lot of people. So thank you.
And you just did. So thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing with us about ResCare and really talking about those non-medical services that can make a huge difference in your loved one's life or in your life. So please give them a call, and you can also always call the Area Agency on Aging toll-free at 877-521-3500. This is Senior Moment, Successful Aging. I'm Mary Beals-Luedtka. Until next time.